Today I'm writing an introductory letter to my new pen pal, but you know, if you've been to my channel before, it can't just be a normal letter. I gotta make it a little bit creative. Let's just jump right into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Michaela. So for the pen pal letter, I wanted to introduce myself in a creative way to my new pen pal, and I saw this idea on Pinterest where this girl kind of did like a receipt, and it had like her hobbies, her favorite color, I think, and like her birthday and all that stuff. And I thought this would be a really cute idea, so I kind of drafted this like receipt for myself. I'm also just making sure that it folds up nicely to fit into the envelope. But then when I was starting, I just for some reason wasn't feeling the receipt idea, so I went ahead and switched, and now I'm doing a recipe card for Michaela, and it'll be like all the things that kind of like make up me, I guess, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's just get started. So here's what the overall package will look like, and I'll get to the other components later, but for now, let's start with this recipe card. If you guys are not new here, then you know I love using this technique with watercolors to age my paper, and that's exactly what I'm doing here for this recipe card, because you know, I just wanted to make it look a little bit like worn and vintage. And then of course, when you're cooking, you kind of get like, you know, cup stains and splatters on your recipe card, so that's pretty much what I'm doing here. I feel like it adds a little bit of character and makes it look more real. I'm also going to use my pointed pen to write recipe for Michaela at the top in more of like a traditional calligraphy style. I feel like it also kind of gives it this vintage look to it using this style. So while we let the ink dry for the recipe card, I'm going to move on to the next component of this letter, which is my current playlist. And so I'm just taking my brush pen and I'm writing current playlist on this envelope. So now's the time to actually write the playlist, and lately I've been listening to a lot of classical music, instrumentals, anime instrumentals, and lo-fi hip-hop. I love that music, I love that vibe, and it's just really nice. It makes my soul and my heart happy, and it's nice to listen to when you're creating or reading or, you know, writing letters to your pen pal. So that's just the vibes that I've been on lately. It was so hard to narrow it down to just these few songs, but I decided to share songs with her that I definitely listened to within the past week, including one of my favorite songs of all time, Spiritual State by Nujabes, as well as Horizon Variations from one of my favorite composers of all time, Max Richter, and Date and Date 2 by Radwimps from one of my favorite anime movies of all time, Your Name. That movie is so beautiful and gorgeous, and the music is gorgeous. I just love these songs. So moving back over to the recipe card, I am finding a different way to like list my hobbies. So for example, I'm writing 2 tablespoons of books, and then on the side I said this can be any books besides horror, but the recipe works best with fiction, thriller, fantasy, and romance books. Next up, I'm writing 3 cups of creativity, and then the side note says, add your choice of graphic design, bullet journaling, calligraphy, drawing, painting, or crafting. And then below that, I have 5 ounces of anime, and then I listed my favorite animes. Honestly, I can't choose, and that'll go into the next ingredient that we add into this list. But for now, I have here Naruto, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, or Hunter x Hunter. Works best, but can be substituted with interesting Netflix documentaries, good and bad reality TV, or anything funny, to be honest. And the last thing I'm writing is more of a personality trait than a hobby, and it says a dash of indecisiveness. And the note says, when making a Libra, it's required to add a pinch of indecisiveness, and that's no different from this recipe. This recipe has many different favorite colors. So let's go ahead and add the entire rainbow and black. There are also many different favorite hobbies, movies, songs, etc. to choose, just one. And then I just add randomness to taste. And that's pretty much how this recipe card turned out. And now I'm going to move on to writing the actual letter. So I cut and fold this paper so I would be able to fit the recipe card as well as the playlist inside of it. And I just wanted it all to be packaged really nicely, so I'll be sure to show you guys how I decorated this. So I'm gonna use some leftover book pages, some scrap paper, and some stickers to decorate the outside of the letter. So at this point, I thought everything looked pretty good. I laid everything out, and I don't know, for some reason I felt like something was missing. So I took a note from this gold tape from the playlist, and I decided to add some imitation gold leafing flakes to both the letter and the recipe card. So on the letter, I'm just using my roll-on tape to lay down an adhesive base and then putting the gold leafing on top. And then for the recipe card, I decided to switch it up and use a glue stick. I have never really used a glue stick before with gold leafing, but I decided to just try it out to see if it would actually work. And I actually kind of like the glue stick. If I'm being honest, I think I might like it better than the tape because you can kind of make your own shapes with it a lot easier than you can with the tape. Okay, yeah, this looks a lot better. It was just missing a little bit of something, and the gold definitely helped it pop and just make it a little bit more interesting. So now that everything is done, it is time to actually assemble the letter. So I'm going to take the recipe card and the playlist and put it inside of the letter. I'm also going to add a little piece of parchment paper because I want to do a wax seal, and this just helps the wax seal from like sticking to the contents inside. Oof, my wax and my sealing gun is on its last leg. I need to go ahead and get some more wax so I can use this gun more often because this is the fastest way to use a wax seal. And here is what the final looks like. I really loved how this turned out. Now I'm just going to add it to the envelope. And the last thing to do is to update my pen pal tracker and my bullet journal. Check out the video on the left-hand side of the screen if you want to see how I set up this layout to keep track of all of my pen pal letters coming in and going out. And check out the video on the right hand side of the screen to see how I set up this entire bullet journal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment and a like down below and subscribe to the channel so you can keep pen paling with me. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.